Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. For the past 7.5 years, I have been making homemade mayonnaise and loving every bit of it. I know not a lot of people actually like mayonnaise, which surprises me because it has been a staple condiment in my life from the time I was in diapers. I love mayonnaise. Homemade mayonnaise is superior to all other mayonnaises. I have multiple videos here showing you how I make homemade mayonnaise. I've done it with my big Ninja blender, and I've also done it with just like the immersion blender in a smaller cup. I love to have my mayonnaise in squeeze bottles. Say mayonnaise 17 more times by the end of this video happens. I probably will. I've always done whole egg mayonnaise. I have tried doing yolk only mayonnaise, but I find that the difference is negligible and it's a lot less effort for me to just crack a whole egg into my vessel. Simpler for my brain to just use the whole egg. In the past, I've also tried to do butter mayonnaise. While it did work, it was rock hard. It was just one of those things where the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Anita over at Ketogenic Woman mentioned in a recent video that she found another video from a guy named Chris Cooking Nashville, where he was able to successfully have butter mayonnaise that was actually like spreadable from the fridge. I thought, well, this is fantastic. What magic does this man possess? Because I had not yet been able to achieve that. Granted, I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. He also uses the whole egg, which I thought, I use the whole egg. Why am I not getting the same results? It's all in the technique. You can use the exact same ingredients as someone else, and the techniques could be slightly off, and you're not gonna get the same results. Therefore, I am going to attempt to follow his recipe to the letter. But I can't do that because I'm Lindsey and I struggle with that very hard. Oh my goodness. I think I might actually use the Vitamix air container, the one with the little flat disc. It's like a whipper disc. Oh, I should probably just do it his way because his way actually turns out, and I don't know if the air will actually turn out properly. Ugh. Let's go on an adventure. With my homemade mayonnaise, it does take about 10 minutes because usually I am just pulling eggs straight out of the fridge, and then I need them to be room temperature so all of my ingredients kind of incorporate together well. And so I pop eggs into a little cereal bowl full of lukewarm water. They come to room temperature pretty quickly, 3 to 5 minutes. And then it takes about 5 minutes from that point to do the actual blending of the mayonnaise, get it into squeeze tubes, and get it into the fridge. This process might take me a little bit longer because the eggs need to be separated. I also want to get my butter melted because you can't really do this with solid form butter. We're gonna commit a little time to this project. I love a good experiment. Butter, glass container. 30 seconds, we'll see what happens. All right, my butter is melted. I'm gonna set this to the side for now. Here is the air container from Vitamix. See, it's got that flat disc in the bottom. And I'm gonna do 2 eggs, I think. So I've got a little container here for my egg whites. Let's see if I can do this well. And I know you're not supposed to go back and forth between the shells. I know. Oh, you're also not supposed to throw the shell into the container. All right, I'm going to let these things kind of hang out for about 5 to 10 minutes while this butter also kind of cools a little bit. For his recipe, Chris also used some, Dijon mustard. I don't have any Dijon mustard, but I do have stone ground mustard. Mustard is an emulsifier, and because this was in the fridge, I will be putting that here as well so it can get to room temperature. And he also puts a couple of teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in his. I do this as well. And he also says a pinch of salt. I don't know what that is. I know what a palmful of salt looks like. And I use my real salt. I do have an affiliate link down in my description box for Redmond real salt. If you are interested in that, I buy this by the 25-pound bags because I am committed. We're gonna try out this angle for a minute and see if this works for you being able to see what I'm doing here. Air container, 2 egg yolks, stone ground mustard, apple cider vinegar, real salt, Vitamix. Chris says to add the butter 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time. In his recipe, Chris says to put this on a medium speed. I think this would work better if my liquid ingredients were above the disc in the air disc container. as you can see, it is not thickening up, which means I broke my mayonnaise. I broke it. What I'm gonna do to fix this is take another egg and put it into my immersion blender cup and then slowly add this mixture into the immersion cup as I am blending it that way, which is the way that I usually fix all broken mayonnaises, and 9 times out of 10, it works. More egg, and I still have my same egg white container, and I am gonna add, you know what? I'm gonna grab yellow mustard instead of this stone ground stuff. Just some good old Franch's mustard. This is gonna require more butter because I used all of those 2 sticks right here, so I also should probably go ahead and melt another stick of butter. Let's try this again, but do it Chris's way. Kind of. Immersion blender. Also, I have placed a slightly dampened towel underneath my container, so whenever I'm using both hands, I don't have this slide all over the place on me because this is very slidey. Okay, here we go. Okay, this has taken ages. I do think that it is mayonnaise. It's not quite as thick as what I usually make mine, but I know that if I continue to add more of this butter, it will break. So I'm definitely not gonna do that. Chris says in his recipe on his video, the next thing to do is add the egg white on top of thick mayo. Blend 5 to 10 seconds to combine. Okay. Also, my stick blender did not like being run for that long, so yikes. Okay, I'm only gonna do a little bit of an egg white. There's about, actually that was probably 2 right there, bummer. I couldn't quite pour just 1 out. Okay, here we go. I think my immersion blender needs a break. It's very warm. And I need some squeeze tubes. I will say that this consistency means it'll be very easy to get into my squeeze bottles. Squeezy bottle. Should probably scrape down the edges here. Full bottle. Let's pop this in the fridge for a few hours and see what happens. Pulled the mayonnaise out of the fridge. Hot diggity dog. It's been in there for a couple of hours at this point. I'm gonna use a spoon so I don't sully the flavor of the mayonnaise. And I stinking love these little OXO squeeze bottles. Okay. Look. It's gonna slide. It's gonna slide. It's gonna slide. Okay, I think it needs probably a few more hours to fully thicken up. It does kind of get a little drippy. Oh dear. Okay, let's taste. That is delicious. A little thin still, but the taste is on point. Clearly, using the Vitamix Air Blade thingy did not go in my favor. I wonder if I had used maybe 6 eggs and 3 cups of butter, if that would have put the volume up above the disc here in the air blender bottle. It's not a bottle, it's a pitcher. So I might experiment a little bit with that in the future. I do make full pitchers worth of my homemade mayonnaise with avocado oil in this bad boy pretty frequently. We are a family that loves mayonnaise. We use it all the time. I use it with regular cooking. I use it to make my homemade ranch. I use it for a whole host of things. Flavor is good. If I can make it work with my Vitamix, it will be more worth the time and energy. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy this and consider my options down the road. I will be sure to link to Chris's original video down in the description below if you would like to go see how he did it the proper way. If you want to see how I make my regular mayonnaise recipe, I'm gonna leave that video right over here and I will see you there.